Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Cryptocurrency market is diving back. It's going back down. Now, when we look at the charts, I really hate to say that I told you so, but you know, we actually discussed about patterns emerging. Patterns, it comes similar in different asset classes, but we actually saw pattern here, a rising wedge, and we talked about the possibility that it may go upside, give a fake out, then come back down, retest this level, and then come back down here, retest this level. And we kind of had that. We went above, we came back down, tested this area, and again we came back below that. Now we are at this support level. Now guys, today's video may be a little different, as we will be discussing some other information which leads me to XRP as a standard global bridge. Now when we actually talk about these things, if you are new here, you will be thinking that this is a conspiracy channel. However, this is not. It is fully dedicated towards updating crypto community, especially the XRP community. While researching for today's XRP updates, my attention was deviated, and it actually supported my initial investment in XRP, as it is going to be the standard global bridge. Now, in order to cover that, I will actually go through multiple perspectives and what's happening in and around the world. We will do what we usually do and cover through the charts, news, and updates. But along with that, a new perspective for this video will be, the plan of the elites, how they are looking to control, the population, bringing in a new world order, and, how countries like India, China are actually looking to control their population from different ways. Then say for example, India trying to control gold investments from a normal resident. If you guys recognize value from this video, please do hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification icon and support the channel. If you are a crypto community member, then you will enjoy the whole content of this video. However, if you are just here for the information about the coronavirus, population control, new world reserve currency and all, you can directly jump into the last quarter of this video. You will get value from that. I don't know how long this video will be, but I definitely believe that you guys will find value for your time. Now, without further delay, we can directly jump into our daily updates. I'll be quickly going through this information because I want to limit the total duration of this video, but give you guys the total information which I really want to serve. Now this is tweet from Crypto Wolf showing until the digital asset market is regulated, which will bring in traditional investors. This is just whales playing with your emotion. Stop worrying and just wait. We are really early, and I completely agree with that. We are early. When you see the price dropping like this, patterns emerging like this, the price is falling like a stone, it is kind of playing with your emotion. I definitely agree with that. And this is the next one from XRP. Bro, that's Tidas. He's showing that 10% of cryptos will change the world. Now that is kind of quoting Chris Larsen, the executive chairman of Ripple. He is actually pointing out that 90% of what we see today in digital assets won't exist in 10 years. But the other 10%, the remaining 10%, that will change the world. When we say that, we can take that, in a positive way and in a negative perspective, whether this is already, laid out previously, thought about, getting one world currency and all, we can, discuss that. Now, this is the next one from Ian Northing, showing that there is a possibility that XRP may rally to 0.7 because of many technical factors. Now, this is not only one article showing that. There are other articles also which is actually from different providers, but pointing towards the 0.7, 0.8 direction. And in yesterday's video, we actually discussed the charts and the possibility that the price may reach 0.7, 0.8. It may get a pump. Now, the next one is actually from CryptoBull, showing that he's actually anticipating XRP to reach $26 by May. Human psychology hasn't changed, and this fractional overlay was presented by blockchain backer and he actually uses the chart well. So he tried to unfold it and showcase that. The next one tweet is from the central bank payments news, and it's actually showing EU blockchain, the Twitter account, and them pointing the blockchain and future of digital assets. So digital assets are here to stay, guys. If someone else is saying something else, don't bother. Just stay focused on what you have. Stay focused on your initial investment, because the next one is actually connecting to that one. It is showing the UK's cash system will collapse without new laws, and that's a possibility. And the governor of Central Bank of England itself stated that we need a digital asset as a reserve. So if he's stating that if he really needs a digital asset for trading between countries, then automatically you need a digital asset within your country in order to implement that first, right? Now, the next one is from XRP Joker, and he's actually showing you a photograph from a page, and you need to really read this. And this is not kind of a I'm not taking you guys into a conspiracy area, but this is a fact, all right? In around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Now, we know what is happening in and around the world. Now, I really don't know the authenticity of this one, but I actually went through and checked about this book, and this one is actually real. It came out in early 1980s. The Eyes of Darkness. Should actually keep that in mind. It was actually predicted that this is gonna happen. So we have to think whether this is a weapon to control the total population. Because if you actually go to this website, GIS and data.maps.arcgis, or just track coronavirus COVID-19 global cases by John Hopkins, you can actually get into this website. This actually shows you the total cases confirmed, total death and recovered here. Yeah, this is a good news that we have 16,000 total recovered. But however, what you have to look is, it's not only China getting affected. Singapore is now having 84. Now this 621 others is like, the cruise ships, which are kind of in the harbor of Japan and all, which is having this many number of confirmed cases. They are not being allowed to go out. Everyone has a fear that it may spread right into their country, because see, Singapore has 84, Japan 84, Hong Kong 63, Thailand 35, South Korea, I don't think this is right, 31, because yesterday I just saw the news in South Korea that another 15 cases are announced, and it should be 46. Then Taiwan, Malaysia, even you are looking at that, you can see US is 15, United Arab Emirates 9. So all the countries are getting this, and now here in India it's 3, and all of those 3 are confirmed in one state, that is Kerala, the southern part of India. Now the next one I would really like to connect this with is something in the same decade, say in early 1980s. This book came out showcasing this idea. And by the late 1980s, you get an article from The Economist showing this, meaning 30 years from now, Americans, Japanese, Europeans, and people in many other rich countries and some relatively poor ones will probably be paying for their shopping and other things with same currency. Price will be quoted not in dollars or yen and all, but instead the phoenix. Now the phoenix is kind of an imaginary term used there, but what you really have to understand is talking about in the past few days the world's main central banks fearing another dollar collapse. Now world's main central banks, and we talked yesterday that the governor of Bank of England was talking about changing dollar because dollar is too old, it's not stable, we need a digital currency. So during that age of technology, they were not actually looking at a digital reserve, instead a separate one, a new one. But in this age of technology, the central bankers are looking at a digital currency to be a reserve. So that is something which you should keep in mind. Now, connecting back to this, the book and the coronavirus issue, I would really like to say this is something which happened in China. They were actually trying to control their population. They were like implementing new strategies, new policies, like one child for one family. Then after that it's been hindered. After reducing a bit of population, the projectile slowing it down, they started like two children a family and all. And now this is a new one, right? Center gets moving on population control law, and this is in India. Now, yes, because the country is projected to become the highest populous country in the world, and they're actually trying to keep this down. But they actually, this is it. Considering China, they can implement this laws because it's not a democracy. I mean, as far as I concern, it's not a democracy. It's a authoritative country where your leader just say this, you have to do this. But India is a democracy, and if they are actually coming up with something like this, I really don't know what's actually going to happen. Because yeah, I'm from a province, say Kerala, the southernmost part of India, which is highly high in literacy. If you look at any websites from Google or any authentic government data, you'll understand that the highest literacy rate in India is there. And the average children per family will be one or two. Rarely it will be three. So that's not actually an issue there. But you see, the new government is actually coming out with new ideas to kind of reduce what you are actually doing with your gold. They actually want you to reduce the gold you are holding. Say a man is actually allowed to hold only up to 100 gram of gold. Now that is really bad, because you have a news going around that you can be facing government officials coming in front of your home to do income tax raid, and the only allowed quantity if you're a man, it is 100, and if you're an unmarried woman you can hold up to 250. If you're a married woman you can hold up to 500. Now that is based on the tradition there. Married woman gets a lot of gold, they keep that's based on the tradition. No offense with that, but still, you're considering you are just a bachelor, and you are only allowed to hold 100 grams. And if you are looking at the price, say 1 gram in India is like 4,000 rupees. And if you actually convert that 4,000, you can actually get, it's just $55. And if you look at the total 100 grams, it's like $5,583. It's not that big deal, right? If you're looking at it as an investment, I won't be saying that it's too much of an investment in gold, because it is not, right? It is not. Now, why we are talking about this gold as a jewelry, it really has the importance in India, because if you are considering the economic situations in India, and coming back into this one, you will understand like there is kind of a loophole. They are saying what kind of proof you need to give, blah blah blah, and if you don't have that proof, they're stating this. On the other hand, if there is no such document available, the officer will analyze your family's social status, customs, tradition, blah blah blah, and will come up to a conclusion. Now the issue with that is India is recognized as the most corrupt country in Asia, and it's not about one article stating that, but the Central Bureau of Investigation of India itself filing corruption cases against over 4,100 government employees. So it's not that old, right? It's just 1 year. It's 2019, so we are not far ahead in time. So if government is kind of like this, then this is gonna end up very badly for them. Now the issue we are pointing out towards jewelry, the gold jewelry in India, because this is central banks, it's all around the world. You can see the stats for central banks and jewelry as an investment from the common man. Now you can see that the proportion is too big. We are not actually talking about the gold reserves of countries. Instead, we are looking at the consumers, the retailers, the common man. In that aspect, India consumes approximately 849 metric ton of gold, and United States stands 193, because most of them, I don't think they will be using jewelry. Instead, they will be directly going into the investment criteria in this one. You see the investment, the green one, that's also not that small, but they don't actually directly jump into the consuming wagon, the jewelry wagon, because if you see that, you will directly understand India stands just below China. Now that's along with the population. So if they are actually trying to control the population, then the investment in gold, if you actually look back at this one, you will actually understand something is really cooking in the background. If they are actually looking at that, looking at a new world currency, then they are trying to limit your gold supply. This happened back in the history, right? When the Nixon took out US from the gold standard, there were restrictions all around, that other stuffs. Anyway, guys, now jumping into the charts, this is a long-term one. We actually talked about the short-term rounded bottom here and looked upon this possibility that we are gonna do like this. Now, yes, if we are looking at this, it can also play out like a head and shoulder in this particular area, and the target area can be somewhere around 0.6, 0.7. But if this area is to play out, then we will be targeting 0.7 to 0.8. Now that is a probability. It's not confirmed yet. Unless we make this shoulder here and break to the upside, it's still a possibility, so you should count on that. Now when we are looking at this, if we break below this support, you should be cautious not to enter a buy until we get into a support area. If we are bouncing from here, getting a confirmation, then yeah, that's actually kind of a good area to buy if you are a short-term investor. But in this channel, we don't advise you to be a short-term investor, because in this short-term trend, you can actually see a reverse head and shoulder, like this head and shoulder here, not the inverse, the real head and shoulder. And if it is breaking to the downside, then the target will be somewhere here, and that's not good deal. If you're a buyer, if you're a seller, it should be okay for you. Now guys, that's all for today, and I would really appreciate if you guys like the content and subscribe the video. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.